Hi everyone, and in this video I'm going to discuss my views on tic redirection. Now, tic redirection is where you can substitute a certain tic to do maybe a less noticeable or less harmful movement or sort of vocalization. For example, some people do deep breathing to help with vocal tics, and some people tense muscles instead of doing motor tics, but that does take a lot of hard work, and usually it's done with a CBIT therapist. However, I don't think that every tic should be redirected. Redirection should only be used if a tic causes the individual harm or distress, or if it's dangerous to others. Otherwise, you should not suppress, because I believe that our tics are part of us, and you should never ask someone to redirect or suppress, because it can cause a lot of distress, because it can make us think about our tics more, which makes them worse, and sometimes it actually makes us feel like a bit of an inconvenience, because they're not bothering us, so why are they bothering you? Because we're the ones who have to live with it. So yeah, I have seen some people think that you're supposed to redirect every single tic, but that's pretty pointless, because if it doesn't bother you, then what's the point? And I think that if someone says no, they don't want to redirect, then listen to them, because we know ourselves best, and if we feel that we can't redirect or we don't want to, please don't make us, because there's no point in redirecting every tic. Redirection should only be used as a management strategy to cope with tics that are dangerous or harmful, but not to normalise people with Tourette's, because I don't like the concept of trying to redirect every tic just to make it less noticeable to other people, but I do like the fact that it can help some people manage certain tics, therefore it can prevent the danger and prevent your tics from hindering you doing things you want to do. So in that circumstance it can be helpful. However, as I said, I don't think you should tell someone with Tourette's to redirect. For example, when I was in year 9, I was in the middle of doing a drama and music exam, and the exam invigilator said to me, can you try humming instead of making that noise? Because I was supposed to be in a room of my own, however they had to move 2 other students in with me, because apparently they didn't have enough space. But then apparently I was bothering them, so they asked me if I could hum to redirect, and I tried it, but it felt so uncomfortable because the premonitory urge was building up, and I said to them, I can't do it. And they just said, no, try it. And then I started crying because I felt like an inconvenience, and was like, I didn't go through 4 years of hell just to be treated like this. I would like to be treated with respect, and I would like obviously it was in my accommodations anyway to be in a separate room, so why wouldn't they just put me in a separate room? But yeah, you don't need to make people with Tourette's fit in. That's just ridiculous, because for some people redirection can actually make it worse, because it can increase the stress and stuff, so it can make you think about it more. And if people ask you to redirect, then it does make you feel really, really self-conscious and can hinder your development of self-acceptance. So I think redirection can be really helpful for some people, especially with tics that may affect certain things or may be dangerous to themselves or others, or may cause distress. However, not every tic needs to be redirected, and if someone with Tourette's or a tic disorder tells you that the tics don't bother them, don't ask them to redirect it, and you don't need to. It's that simple. Also, I did want to talk about suppression a little bit in this video as well, because it's come to my attention that some people who claim to be specialists in Tourette's tend to advocate tic suppression, which is incredibly harmful. Because for me, if I suppress my tics, it's so uncomfortable and feels like I can't breathe, especially with the vocal tics, because it builds up inside me and creates tension, and that comes out as really extreme rage attacks, which are just as uncontrollable as the tics. They are not behavioural problems. So the rage attacks are a lot worse than the tics, because they can obviously hit out at others and make us feel really, really distressed and just make us feel awful. And also, suppressing tics in the long term causes a build-up of tension inside. It can make you tense all the time and makes you really, really anxious, and can actually make your tics worse in the long term. So suppression is incredibly harmful, so please do not feel that you have to suppress. If you ever get a therapist who's doing like CBIT or something, and if you say you don't want to do something and they try and make you, then please get a new therapist or doctor or something, because a good doctor will listen to what you want, of course. So yeah, for me, suppression makes me worse. For pretty much everyone with Tourette's I've met, suppression makes them worse. It does hurt, it's uncomfortable, and I do not recommend it in any circumstance, so please do not feel that you have to suppress. You don't need to normalise yourself, because to be honest, what other people think of you really doesn't matter. And I know that you can feel really self-conscious and try and withdraw in public and stuff, but really, over time I think that I have learnt to accept myself, because there is such thing as subconscious suppression, which is where you're suppressing without really knowing it, because there's an underlying fear of being judged. Luckily, as I came to learn more about my condition and learn that it was actually completely out of my control, I came to accept it more, and I no longer subconsciously suppress. Now, subconscious suppression is really triggered by years of social conditioning. For example, people claiming that suppression helps, because it really doesn't. So I think that actually learning not to suppress and learning to accept myself is one of the most helpful things I've done to manage my condition. So yes, if you know someone with Tourette's, please don't ask them to suppress. Make sure they don't feel they need to suppress, and make sure you find a therapist or doctor who actually listens to your views, concerns, and what you really need help with. Because that's really what it's there for. It's there to help. So if you feel that someone's not listening to you, then obviously just find someone who does listen. But yeah, I feel that this is a really important thing to talk about. So not every tic needs to be redirected. It's only really there for certain tics. And suppression can trigger rage attacks, headaches, pain, migraines, loads of different issues, and tic fits as well. So I obviously don't recommend it. It's really, really dangerous and it hurts. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you've liked it and I hope it's helped. Bye!